Justice for CJ, a son, brother, father, uncle. Up drove the hearse Cadillac. A crowd of people gathered round, all dressed in black. And as they removed his body from the car, such pain she never knew had filled her heart. It happened on an early Saturday morning when the noise from the phone really disturbed her. She wasn't too sure at first just what the caller meant when they informed her that there had been an incident. Why, oh why, the sound of a mother's cry as she gathered herself and wiped the tears from her eyes. Somebody asked who was the next of kin. But oh Lord, it was the beginning of her end. March 17th, 2018. CJ will forever be 22 years young. Justice for CJ. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us who we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. So I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I failed, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of takes you to a lonely place, find yourself in love. In a mother's love, you will find everything. Everything's alright. To a mother's love, you are bound. You can rest on sacred ground. You are free to dream because she sees what you can be. Welcome to my world. Come on in and make yourselves at home. Welcome to my life. I know everything's gonna be all right. Welcome to my world. Oh, won't you come on in? Welcome to my life. It's known as the Tiger's Den. Greetings to all of my subscribers. I want to thank you for being with me for as long as you have, and the new subscribers that's coming on in. We want to say greetings and thank you for your time. This is from Toothless and the moderators. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. Greetings. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. This is the voice of Cheryl, and I am Toothless Tiger. I'd like to welcome everybody that's here. Let's start out with Laura, Madria, Phyllis, and Alex. Welcome. Anyone in the bushes, in the trees, in the sky, in the clouds, on the beach, wherever you may be, welcome. Thank you for waiting on me. Please forgive me for being late. I have a confession to make. I have this addictive personality. And there is a song that I've been hearing on TikTok, and I did not know who sung the song. I did not know the words to the song. I just knew it was stuck in my head. And night before last, I found the song. And so I've been listening to that song since night before last. And I was trying to come on timely. I pretty much got all my stuff together, what we're going to talk about. Thanks to Madria, gave me a great story that I wasn't aware of that bears talking about. A lot of the stories I've been talking about here recently are about Asiatic people. Although the things that we're talking about happens to us all. Because as you recall, there's only one race, and that's the human race. But with social engineering and social constructs, we're treated differently. Now, in the political world, it's known as hegemony. In the world of the layperson, you and I, It's known as discrimination. And again, it is a construct that's socially engineered. How can a few rule many? Well, it goes back to the Sun book, some call the Bible. It's divide and conquer. A house divided against itself cannot stand. We will see America as the house. We are the families that make up the residents of the house. So if you divide us, then we can't stand. And we're over here, over there, going through this, going through that. But what we don't realize is there is a system in place that keeps us at odds with one another. The same thing you see here in the metaverse. Unfortunately, wherever there's humans, there's going to be destruction. There's going to be discord. There's going to be division. You choose where you want to stand. As some would say on that great getting up morning. You can't control what other people do, say, think, feel, act. That's out of your control. But what you can control is what you do, say, think, feel. You can control that. Respond. We spend most of our lives not really knowing how or knowing what, knowing when, knowing where, knowing why to say what we need to say. Many people in the metaverse spend their days and their nights plotting, purchasing views, subscribers, comments, likes. I've always dared to be different from the norm. Therefore, I pretty much stand alone. And I've shared with you guys many a times. My mama used to tell me my mouth was going to get me in trouble, but I didn't understand at that time, understand or overstand what she meant by that. She never ever explained it to me. But as I became an adult and went through my own life issues, some things I relied on the foundation that was laid before me, the teaching of my mom and dad. Some things I had to experience. Some things I learned through research and reading, talking with others. And the one that gave me life came from the one that I gave life to, which is my son. And that is to question all the things that I used to didn't want to talk about. Why is this America so divided? Why is there so much discord and dissension? Why is there disdain between people you've never met? Strangers on the street. Don't be in an elevator. You feel so very uncomfortable. The person that's clenching their purse or their briefcase, they think they feel uncomfortable, but they don't really know how we feel. I felt as an individual. I don't own this platform, as we all know. So there are things in this country, although they say we are free, and they say that we have the freedom of speech, we're ran by the laws of contract, is what I found through my research. So if anyone thinks that it's misinformation, it could be. For those who don't believe, very well could be. You know, everything is left up to interpretation, and we are individuals. So we have the right to interpret things the way that we do based on our teaching, our living, our experiences. So before you hit the flag misinformation or, bullying and harassing, which is something I don't do. I've been a victim of, for over a year now. And I stand on two legs. I stand in the honor and integrity of who I am, my mom, my dad, my son, my siblings, my nieces and my nephews, and all the beautiful people I've met along the way. I stand in love, in truth, in peace, in freedom, and in justice. What I've come to know through my research and my life experience is that we as a people opted, as a result of being colonized, for education as opposed to liberation. In all honesty, we did receive education, but it was called animal husbandry training. It's a training not fit for human learning, but for obedience, subservience. There's conversations going on in the United States today, even in the presidential race. So we can't say that we're picking on one person or one group of people and we're not talking about other people. No, family, I'm talking to us right now, but I'm talking about what's going on in this country. And let me just say, greetings, Asatar, and I'm just being me. I'm glad you're here. Please, everybody, don't forget to hit the like button. We have 14 in the chat and 10 likes. I'd greatly appreciate it. And please be a part of the conversation. Engagement is what I'm about. I like to see people progress. I never liked formal education as we know it. I am possibly a rebel without a cause, but I have a great cause. And that's a love for humanity at large. You see, I love people, but I don't like many. I love what we're supposed to be, but most of us don't live and exercise in what we're supposed to be. So it's beautiful to have this utopia thought of how we are supposed to be. It's beautiful to love something greater than yourself, but it's not beautiful when you don't love anybody that you can see, that you can touch, that you can speak with, hold a conversation with. I know my purpose in life, and I came to YouTube to share my purpose, not somebody else's idea of what I should be. I am that I say I am. I am. Nothing less and nothing more. I don't worry about numbers because I don't get many. But I can tell you this, I have 1,447 people that has subscribed to me. And sometimes throughout this time that I've been on YouTube, perhaps every last one of them have spent hours with me. And I say thank you. Some of you have donated to me. And I say thank you. Because you didn't have to. But you did. And then the faithful few that comes, and I don't think I said few right. I think I just messed that word up. But the faithful few that show up every Sunday, used to be Tuesday. I changed it because people started coming on at the same time I did. So I said, well, if I pick another day that nobody comes on at that time, I won't have that problem. Not now, those that I know and those that I don't know seem to come on at the same time that I do every time I come on. And that's great. It's enough subscribers out here for us all. For I have 1,447. And I'm sure they all cross through all different, I would say, channels, platforms. They can call them sectors. They can call them what they want. But I can tell you this. I've never left my purpose. I've had to make some videos that I didn't want to make, but I don't acquiesce to no one. nor do I bow to any man or woman. That's not in my DNA. I come from a mighty people. Trust me, I do. You see, some things were passed down by word of mouth. Some were written. And some I just know in my knower. And as you get in tune with who you are and nature, I guarantee you, you'll receive downloads too. R. Kelly got a song. And a lot of people have an issue with R. Kelly, and that's your business and your right. But he got a song that says, what you eat don't make me shit. And I say, what you drink don't make me piss. So whatever it is, we all have a preference. And L'Oreal came up with that commercial. You know, a lot of people think big women are downtrodden and will accept anything. And that's just the way life is for us because we're not pleasing to the eye, but it's according to what eyes are looking. You see, there was a pastor, we used to attend their church, and his name was Reverend Wilder. And, you know, they used to say he was henpicked. And what he would tell them about his wife is it's all right to be henpicked if you're picked by the right hen. You got to know who you are. And against all odds, you got to stand. And you got to stand for something. And that something should be you. That's what it should be. You see, we all are capable of leaving a legacy because we're going to leave one, either a good one or a bad one. We're going to leave something behind. And if you can live with the way you live today, the way you operate, the way you think, the way you interact and treat people, if you can live with how you do that today, if this is your last day in earth, because you're going to be dead. But that's all right. Live with that until you're gone. But I want to leave something that will spark a change, as Tupac said. I may not be president, but maybe I can prick the brain that may become. There's so many things we have not been taught. And my purpose was to come on to share what I've learned, not to rewrite history, not to make up history. I've learned some things. Thank you. I'm just being me, Asatar and Phyllis. Thank you. But gone are the days of pretending and following. We were trained that way. Any habit that we have can be reversed, but we have to train to reverse the habit. And then some would say, well, why your big ass sitting up there big? I ain't gonna train. It's very simple. See, my mama taught me never envy anyone for anything they have, because you just might not want to pay the price that they're willing to pay. And I can guarantee you she was correct in her teaching. There's some things I'm not going to do. I believe in living. And I believe in living until you no longer living. And since no man know the moment or the hour, why take a chance? Why not try to bring joy and substance to your life? Why not try to help somebody else along the way? Sometimes just your smile will make a difference in somebody else's day. And don't you mess around and say hello or hi, greetings, grand rising, whatever you choose to acknowledge another human being. You don't know what that voice may be. Your voice may be the only voice they've heard in a while. You see, a lot of people now are alone. A lot of adults. I'm approaching that age. They call us the baby boomers. I'm down 20 2 days, no, 21 days, and I'll be 65 years old. And I see how my sister functions at 70. And although she doesn't feel too good today, she does so much for so many. And she travels. And she loves what she does. She's imparted so much in the lives of children. And not only just your regular everyday children, your juvenile delinquents, but even our special needs. And my greatest joy in seeing what she's done and helped me to not cry is it was 2 little guys. They have Down syndrome. One could speak a little bit and the other one couldn't speak at all. She had both of those boys talking, saying their names to their parents. One little fellow mother had never, ever heard her baby speak. If you think that's not life-changing, if you think that doesn't mean something, do you think the shit that these people doing here on YouTube really affects me? If they only knew who they were fucking with when they come to me, they would say, no, 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 not that one. But no, everybody want a piece of Toothless. And that's okay. They can have me. That's what I'm here for, to be used. All I ask is don't misuse me and don't abuse me. Been through that in my life. Don't tolerate it anymore from nobody. Not Toothless. I'm feeling some type of way. I really don't know what type of way I'm feeling. As a mother, heartbroken, saddened that we as a people refuse to acknowledge the real enemy and work together as a people. Thank you, Asatar. Not me. Not me. Y'all gonna have to give me a break. Let me take a break for a minute because that just touched my heart. One moment, please. Did you know that mental health is a family affair? It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, one child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mama loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good to mom. Blood thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave because your heart is there. But you can't stay because you've been somewhere else. You can't cry because you look broke down, but you're crying anyway because you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, it's a family affair. Hey. Okay. Thank y'all. I'm coming on camera in a moment. Uh, this story about this young man. I asked Maria if she would put it in the chat. I don't want to show it because it's very graphic, and I wanted people to, if they would, hit it and save it and maybe look at it, or you can look at it during the show. I really don't have a problem with that. Um, a young man was stopped by law enforcement, and believe it or not, I got so caught up in it, I don't even know where it was, and I'm sure they may have told us. Uh, but it was a little overwhelming, especially being a mother of a son and knowing how we've had to endure so much in our lifetime. Just reading the poem that I wrote last week, that I read, I'm talking about I wrote, Lord, my mind is playing tricks on me. Just reading that poem of what we have to endure as mothers and women, period. Women. And if you notice, I don't use the noun adjectives that they give us, continents and all that, to preference. If I'm speaking of a woman is a woman, and I am woman, 100%, full life breathing woman. But when I saw that, it reminded me of some things that I learned in history that are actually real. Uh, let's start out with the one I want to start out with. And I'll talk more about the video in a moment. But I want to start out with the Casual Killing Acts. And I purchased some books I told you guys about. Spent about a little over $200 this past week purchasing some new books because there's some things I'm learning that I'm going to learn. And as I learn, I like to share. But I looked up the word act. I bought the Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, and it contains phrases and maxims of law. But I wanted to look up what the word act meant. And I would ask everybody to take notes if you like, and to always go and look up words, even the words that we use every day that we really, know that we know, but sometimes we use them so much we probably don't know the origin. And we can go to the origin, but I just went to the Law Dictionary on this. And an act is a thing done or established. That's what an act is. It's done or it's established. So you want to look up the words done and established so that you can make sure that you have a great comprehension on what it's saying. But this is a Casual Killing Act of 1669. And it was done October 1669. And it's coming from the website that I'm on. It's no longer actively maintained. Some material and features may be unavailable, and they also ask you to donate. But the website is 13 PBS. And I want to share with you Slavery and the Making of America. This is the Casual Killing Act of the Commonwealth of Virginia, 1669, cited in William Walter Henning, the Statutes at Large, being a collection of all the laws of Virginia from the first session of the legislature in the year 1619, volumes 1 and 2. And you can find it in New York and R&W G. Bartow, 1823. It gives document descriptions. Overseers liberally applied violent punishments such as whippings to slaves. they perceive to be transgressive. This 1669 act declared, and I went ahead and looked up declared. Let me find my paper that I added that to. I have so many papers, child. Y'all got to just excuse me. Work with me here. Declared is defined as openly or formally asserted or announced. That's declared. So let's get back to our subject matter. The 1669 Act declared that should a slave be killed as a result of extreme punishment, the master should not face charges for the murder. Now, I want y'all to just think about that. And I'm going to go ahead and read the act, but that's what the document description is all about. That should a slave be killed as a result of extreme punishment, the master should not face charges for the murder. And one of the reasons that this law was enacted, because a lot of the mistresses of the master was killing the children of the slave woman. Some of those children were fathered by the slave master. And so she would beat them unto death. And so they had to come up with a way that she could do this without having to ever leave her front porch. Now, this is going to be open to not only her, but that was the reasoning behind it. And I didn't make up these allegations because they're not allegations. They're founded in truth, in history. And all we have to do is research. Then maybe we can understand what's happening to us today. And maybe, just maybe, we could change some of these things by learning how to do it. The transcript, October 1669, Act 1, 2270, Charles II, King of England. An act about the casual killing of slaves. Whereas the only law enforced for the punishment of refractory servants, and of course, I looked up refractory, so we'll know what that is. I'm not leaving that for you to find today. But by all means, take the time out and learn some of this stuff. Refractory it's refractory. Refractory. It means stubborn or unmanageable. That's what refractory means. But then obstinacy is going to be a word that I'm going to use also. And obstinacy is the quality or condition of being obstinate, meaning stubbornness. So then you go and look up obstinate and you find stubbornly adhering to an opinion, purpose, or course in spite of reason, arguments, or persuasion. Resistance to change, not easily subdued, remedied, or removed. Those are the words that I looked up today. Okay. So I'll start over. Whereas the only law in force for punishment of refractory servants, a resisting their master's, mistress, or overseer cannot be inflicted upon Negroes, nor the obstinacy of many of them by other than violent means suppressed. Be it enacted and declared by this grand assembly, if any slave resist his master or other by his master's order correcting him, and by the extremity of the correction should chance to die, that his death shall not be a computed felony, but the master or that other person appointed by the master to punish him be acquitted from molestation, since it cannot be presumed that prepense malice, which alone makes murder felony, should induce any man to destroy his own estate. So as you can see, number one, we're considered a part of the master's estate. And they're saying nobody can destroy their own estate. Therefore, to beat you unto death, nothing can be wrong with that. Because you wouldn't do that on purpose. This is how life is viewed. In 1669, and come on to 2023, do we see a marked difference? Or should I say a marked difference? Do we see a difference? Is what we need to ask ourselves. We opted, as I stated before, for education instead of liberation. Well, let's look at our education system. And I'd like to know if you've seen many changes from what was done in 1902. The philosophy founders of the General Education Board was John D. Rockefeller, name sound familiar, and Frederick T. Gates. They were the chairmen of the board. They had other board members, of course. And this is their statement. In our dreams, we have limitless resources, and the people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hands. The present education conventions fade from their minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill upon a grateful and responsive rural folk. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or men of science. We have not to raise up from among them authors, editors, poets, or men of letters. We shall not search for embryo, great artists, painters, musicians, nor lawyers, doctors, preachers, politicians, statesmen, of whom we have an ample supply. The task we set before ourselves is very simple, as well as a very beautiful one. To train these people as we find them to be a perfectly ideal life just where they are. So we're supposed to be happy, ideal, in whatever condition they found us in. That's the condition we're supposed to be happy with and accept. So we will organize our children and teach them to do in a perfect way the things their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way. In the homes, in the shops, and on the farm. That's the education system. And if you cannot break that down and weigh it against the way we see education today, then something is truly happening in your life that you need to pay some attention to. Thank you, Maria. Maria just dropped the $11 million challenge. As you know, I am a millionaire, and I do anticipate collecting on my millions. I do. But I have a challenge. $11 for winning by default a judgment of $11 million. So anybody that wants to give, please feel free to hit the Cash App or the Super Chat. It's your choice. Now, what I did is when I prepared that document, because I didn't come up with that, the board came up with that, I went to the Henry Campbell's Black's Law Dictionary, and I just wanted to define a few words for us, because we were once known as colored. And so I wanted to look at the word color. The word color is an appearance, semblance, or simulacrum as distinguished from that which is real. A prima facie or apparent right. Hence, a deceptive appearance, a plausible, assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality, a disguise or a pretext. And then one thing that's beautiful about the Law Dictionary, they give you case law. Railroad Company v. Alfrey, and then they state the site. So if you look this up in the Henry Campbell's Black Law Dictionary, 4th edition, you would find this information. And then we go with the color of law. The color of law is the appearance or a semblance without the substance of legal right. And that's State versus Breechler, and it gives you the information. Colored. By common usage in America, this term in such phrases as colored persons, the colored race, colored men, and the like is used to designate Negroes or persons of the African race, including all persons of mixed blood descended from Negro ancestry. And then they give you the case is Collinsville, Oklahoma State Hospital, and they give you the sightings. Theophanis versus Theophanis. But where a state constitution provided for separate schools for the white and colored races, the term white race was held to be limited to the Caucasian race, and the term colored races to embrace all other races. If you did some research in the history when they came up with the social construct of race, because we were not always known by race. That's why black and white are legal statuses. It's a political status. It is not who you are as a human being. It has also been held that there is no legal, technical signification to the phrase colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. And then they give you the case law on that. That's very important to know. One of the greatest cases that we have is the Dred Scott case. And it would be beneficial if you would research the Dred Scott case. Believe it or not, it is storming outside, and I had no idea because we didn't get the big hoopla, the thunder and the lightning this time. I just heard the wind and the rain hitting the window. It's amazing. That's why you can't look at who comes on when you come on and all that kind of stuff, because nature itself operates the way nature operates. And who's going to mess with Mother Nature? Not I, said the tiger with no teeth. Not I. I will respect it, and I will align myself in harmony with nature, which is what we all should strive to do. Get in tune with nature. Absorb the sun. Get your vitamin D. Drink water, plenty of it. Hydrate yourselves. Those are things that the human body should be doing. We've covered two big things. I'll talk more about what happened in that situation. There are economic amplifiers that are used in this economic engineering to know where we are, how we spend our money, what we do as individuals, how we entertain ourselves. And that introduction to economic amplifiers is in, of course, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Economic amplifiers are the active components of economic engineering. The basic characteristics of any amplifier, mechanical, electrical, or economic, is that it receives an input control signal and delivers energy from an independent energy source to a specified output terminal in a predictable relationship to that input control signal. The simplest form of an economic amplifier is a device called advertising. Hi, B-Man the Killer. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Haven't been over. How you doing in school? Yeah, I've been doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope all is well with you too. I see you be dropping videos though. The simplest form of an economic amplifier is a device called advertising. If a person is spoken to by a TV advertiser as if he were a 12-year-old, then, due to suggestibility, he will, with a certain probability, respond or react to that suggestion with the uncritical response of a 12-year-old and will reach into his economic reservoir and deliver its energy to buy that product on impulse when he passes it in the store. And that's one of the ways that we are funded here on YouTube, outside of you guys donating to us, is by advertisement. Oh, thank you so much, B-Man. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Let me acknowledge B-Man, since he's not here all the time, and we don't want him to leave without knowing that you are appreciated.
Your face. You got to remove the excess water. Now she's coming
This
out.
is how you do it. Thank you. And I'm going to play this song for Maria because this is a lot of our problems as a people as well. See that old man over there in his chair? This old man is living in the bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time and now he's living in the bottle. Well, see that old man over there in his chair? This old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. Now he done pawned off everything, his old woman wedding ring for the bottle. Well, and don't you think it's a crime when time after time people living in the bottle? These people living in the bottle, y'all. So just know if by chance we get knocked off or I get knocked off, just know that we have a real bad storm going on. And so far it's been kind to us. And B-Man says, school been doing, and yeah, YouTube took one of strikes off my channel. Oh, fantastic. So I've been slowly been trying to get back to it. Okay, I got to come by and say hello. No problem. Awesome. Thank you, B-Man. So, having said that, knowing that that's what we rely on, and knowing that we were trained a certain way, then we have to really, that's why now a lot of advertisement is geared toward you, the person. Oh, it is? I know I didn't even know it, but I know that I just heard it on the window. RLG say it's bad out there. Well, everybody in Dallas, Texas, stay inside and just know it's coming y'all way. If you live east or south, it's coming. So be careful. But that's why they, tailor the commercials to you as an individual. And that's a good thing in a sense. Not so much when you don't have money to spend or the mindset to discipline yourself. But it is good to see something that you're interested in as opposed to seeing something that you're not. So that part is genius. But let's keep going. Remember, this is economic amplifiers. Yeah, I hear it hitting this house. It's the rain, and it sounds like it's actually little, what do you call that stuff? Hail. So it says, an economic amplifier may have several inputs and outputs. Its response might be instantaneous or delayed. Its circuit symbol might be a rotary switch if its options are exclusive, qualitative, go or no go. Or it might have its parametric input-output relationships specified by matrix with internal energy sources represented. Whatever its form might be, its purpose is to govern the flow of energy from a source to output, sync in direct relationship to an input control signal. For this reason, it is called an active circuit element or component. Economic amplifiers fall into classes called strategies, and in comparison with electronic amplifiers, the specific internal functions of an economic amplifier are called logistical instead of electrical. And of course, if you've worked in business somewhere or another, you probably learned about logistics, the numbers. Therefore, economic amplifiers not only deliver power gain, but also, in effect, are used to cause changes in the economic circuitry. In the design of an economic amplifier, we must have some idea of at least 5 functions, which are: number 1, the available input signals. Number 2, the desired output control objectives. Number 3, the strategic objective. Number 4, the available economic power sources. And number 5, the logistical options. The process of defining and evaluating these factors and incorporating the economic amplifier into an economic system has been popularly called game theory. The design of an economic amplifier begins with the specification of the power level of the output, which can range from personal to national. The second condition is accuracy of response, i.e., how accurately the output action is a function of the input commands. High gain combined with strong feedback helps to deliver the required precision. And you notice how everything you purchase these days, you always get a survey because they want to know how they performed, or that's basically what the survey immediately following a purchase. But once you receive, if you're purchasing online or whatever, even if you're in the store and make it home, then there is a survey asking you a day or two later, what do you think of the product that you purchased? Most of the error will be in the input data signal. Personal input data tends to be specified, while national input data tends to be statistical. So then we go with short list of inputs. Starting out, number 1, questions to be answered. What, where, why, when, how, and who. Now, believe it or not, I just recently had this conversation and had no idea that I would be coming from this subject and all of this and come up with this in this book on this amplifiers. So it's just amazing how things affirm things for us. Sometimes we may think we're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes we don't even know what direction we're going in. And then something will happen to affirm us, to let us know we're okay, no matter what it is or what people think. If you're following you and you're on a trajectory of doing something different than what you used to do and making it better than what it was, then you're in the right place. You also have to remember, if you're following you, and you are, anywhere you go, that's why I always tell people, geographical areas does not change make. Because if you don't make an internal change as an individual, wherever you go, you're taking you with you. And so it'll start out just great for a day, maybe 2. And after that, everything that you've always known is going to come back flooding in your life, probably harder than it flooded before. And then you're going to say to yourself, everywhere I go is this. So then if that's happening on the outside, externally, then you must take a look inside, internally, to see what is it about you that attracts that or that causes that to happen. Because only you can answer your question. Nobody can answer it for you. No matter how bad we want to. And we do want to. As mothers, as lovers, as wives, as sisters, as aunts, nieces, cousins, friends. We want to know. And we want to help. But we all have the same life issues. Life. No matter what the nuances are in our lives, They may be different, but life happens to us all. And what we got to do is learn how to live it on its terms. We teach more about leaving here than we do about living here. We need to learn how to live while we're yet alive. And then we need to enjoy the fruits of our labor or whatever we've been given. We need to learn how to enjoy them and to enjoy ourselves. Number two, general sources of information: telephone taps, analysis of garbage, surveillance, behavior of children in school. So, this is how we're being viewed by people outside of us. That's why it's a social engineering. It is geared and gearing us in a certain way. Number three, standard of living by food, shelter, clothing, and transportation. Number four, social contacts: telephone, itemized record of calls. Remember, we used to get our bills and they used to tell us everyone we spoke to and the date and the time that not only we received the call, but the minutes that we were on the call. And with this being the information age, where we can get a plethora of information, isn't it amazing how some information is also withering away and we voluntarily give it up because they suggest it and we agree, we acquiesce. Number two of number five, family, marriage certificates, birth certificates, etc., friends, associates, etc., members in organizations, and political affiliations. There was a test ran today at about 2:30, and some people were telling people to turn their phones off, and some people were telling people, I was telling people that I know and that speak to me about it, leave your phone on. Why would you turn it off? The people already know everything there is to know about us. Remember, everything we do is going through a computer, and they have every bit of information. Now, no one individual is sitting there watching everything they say but God. But as far as human beings, totally impossible. They're not omnipresent, they're not omniscient, and they're not omnipotent. So you have to know that, some of the things we think too high of ourselves. But there are certain things that we need to know that should remain to all of us. The personal paper trail: personal buying habits, i.e., personal consumer preferences, checking accounts, credit card purchases, tagged credit card purchases, the credit card purchase of products being the UPC, Universal Product Code, assets, checking accounts, savings accounts, real estate, business, automobile, etc., safety deposit at the bank and the stock market. Liabilities: creditors, enemies, see legal, and loans. Government sources: employees. They're considered welfare, Social Security, USDA surplus food, doles, grants, and subsidizes. And it has an asterisk by employees which says principle of this ploy: the citizen will almost always make the collection of information easy if he can operate on the free sandwich principle of eat now and pay later. That's called the free sandwich principle. Government sources via intimidation. And we know these people, some are known as the alphabet boys: the Internal Revenue Service, OSHA, census, etc. Other government sources is surveillance of U.S. mail. Habit patterns, programming, strengths and weaknesses, your activities, sports, hobbies, etc. See legal, fear, anger, etc. Crime record, hospital records, drug sensitivities, reaction to pain, etc. Psychiatric records, fears, angers, disgust, adaptability, reactions to stimuli, and violence. Suggestibility or hypnosis, pain, pleasure, love, and sex. Methods of coping of adaptability behavior: consumption of alcohol, consumption of drugs, entertainment, religious factors influencing behavior, and other methods of escaping from reality. Payment modus operandi, they call that the MO, pay on time, etc. So it's looked at your payment of telephone bills, energy purchases, water purchases, repayment of loans, house payments, automobile payments, and payments on credit cards. Political sensitivity, your beliefs, contacts, position, strength slash weaknesses, and projects and activities. Legal inputs, behavioral control, excuses for investigation, search, arrest, or employment of force to modify behavior. Court records, police records, NCIC, driving record, reports made to police, insurance information, and anti-establishment acquaintances. National input information, business sources via IRS, etc. Prices of commodities, sales, investments in stocks slash inventory, production tools and machinery, buildings and improvements, the stock market. Banks and credit bureaus, credit information, payment information. Miscellaneous sources, polls and surveys, publications, telephone records, and energy and utility purchases. Then we come with the short list of outputs. Outputs created control situations, manipulation of the economy, hence society, controlled by control of compensation and income. Sequence allocates opportunities, number one. Number two, destroys opportunities, number three. Controls the economic environment, number four. Controls the availability of raw materials, number five. Controls capital, number six. Controls bank rates, number seven. Controls the inflation of the currency, number eight. Controls the possession of property, number nine. Controls industrial capacities. Oh man, we go on down. Number 10 controls manufacturing. Number 11 controls the availability of goods, which are commodities. Number 12 controls the prices of commodities. Number 13 controls services, the labor force, etc. Number 14 controls payments to government officials. Number 15 controls the legal functions. Number 16 controls the personal data files uncorrectable by the party slandered. Number 17 controls advertising. 18 controls media contact. 19 controls material available for TV viewing. Number 20 disengages attention from real issues. Let me say that again. Disengages attention from real issues. Number 21, engages emotions. 22, create disorders, chaos, and insanity. Number 23, controls design of more probing tax forms. Number 24, controls surveillance. 25, controls the storage of information. 26, develops psychological analyses and profiles of individuals. Number 27, controls legal functions. Repeat of 15. Number 28, controls sociological factors. 29, controls help options. 30, preys on weakness. 31, cripples strengths. And 32, leeches wealth and substance. The table of strategies. Do this, it says. Keep the public ignorant. To get this, less public organization. Please hear these strategies. Maintain access to control point for feedback. To get this, required reaction to outputs, prices, and sales. Strategies. Create preoccupation. To get this, lower defense. Strategies. Do this. Attack the family unit. Okay, be careful, Maria. See you in a minute. To get this, control of the education of the young. Hear that again. You attack the family unit to control the education of the young. Strategies. Do this. Give less cash and more credit and doles. To get this, more self-indulgence and more data. One moment, please. I had to clear my throat. Excuse me. Attack the privacy of the church. That's strategies. Do this. To get this, destroy faith in this sort of government. Strategies. Do this. Social conformity. To get this, computer programming simplicity. Strategies. Do this. Minimize the tax protest. To do this, to get this, maximum economic data, minimum enforcement problems. Remember, these are amplifiers. And we're almost at the end. Do this under strategies. Stabilize the consent. To get this, simplicity coefficients. Strategies. Do this to tighten control of variables. To get this, simpler computer input data, greater predictability. Strategies. Do this, establish boundary conditions. To get this, problem simplicity, solutions of differential and difference equations. Strategies. Do this, proper timing. To get this, less data shift and blurring. Do this, strategies, maximize control. To get this, minimum resistance to control. And lastly, do this, strategies, collapse of currency. To get this, destroy the faith of the American people in each other. Now, real or imagined, this is what is written. And this was written way back when, in 54. But we can pretty much see these things happening. and they give us diversion in the primary strategy. And again, anyone who's interested in the book can always email me to get a free copy of the PDF for the book. And my email address is always scrolling at the bottom of my videos when I remember to turn it on. This stuff comes under the Copyright Act and the limitations for fair use. And it comes with, we can use material without permission as long as it's used for commentary, criticism, education, research, scholarship, and teaching. And that's what I use information for, those reasons. And then I like for people to communicate back and let me know what you see, what you hear, what you get out of whatever it is I'm saying. I read these diversion summaries last week, and I want to read them again because I think they're very important. For the media, keep the adult public attention diverted away from real social issues and captivated by matters of no real importance. We see that a lot in the metaverse, and we even see it sometimes in the lives of people that we know and love, and we may even experience some of it in our own lives. Number two, schools. Keep the young public ignorant of real mathematics, real economics, real law, and real history. And might I add that history and law should be studied together so that your concepts will be correct. Under entertainment, which is the section that we're all under here on YouTube, keep the public entertainment below a sixth grade level. And if you don't hear a lot of sixth grade level stuff going on, just like someone came in the chat and said something very ignorant, I don't even know what that person is talking about. But those are the kind of things that people do as distractions. So you can know that anytime you're on the right path or the right track, distractions are going to come. If you change the behavior from one way to make it better for yourself, you can know that everything around you is going to want to force you back to what you were for them. Because we don't understand in relationship, we both bring something to the relationship and we both take something away from the relationship. And if only one person is bringing and taking and the other person is not participating, then that is what I call a one-sided relationship. And you honestly don't have a relationship. You have a relation and the ship is sinking fast. And you're going to have to make a decision whether you want to sink with the ship or if you want to abort and jump ship. And lastly, work. It says keep the public busy, busy, busy with no time to think, but on the farm with the animals, with the other animals. So when you hear these things, the Casual Killing Act, the social and economical engineering, then you have to then start weighing out your life and ask how do you participate in any of this that helps you not be the best you that you can be. Because that's all my show is about. I realize a lot of people don't want to be better because they don't visit. It's not juicy. It's not entertaining enough. It's not enough pain. It's not hurting anyone. And we thrive on that. Yet we say we want to be different. We all have an opinion on what happened to that young man. And we all want to know why. But we don't want to take responsibility that our passivity, just standing by, watching, saying, and doing nothing, allows this type of behavior to permeate throughout the land. And speaking of the land, one thing in that video that Roland Martin spoke of, he was speaking of the speech that Martin gave before he was gone in 1968. and the speech that a lot of people don't want us to hear. They love us to have the dream, but they don't want to hear when we woke up. We woke up to a nightmare. Our lands were taken, but they were giving away millions. And so I want to let you guys hear what Martin had to say in reference to that. I'm not going to play it, but you can Google it yourself, like I did. And that's all research is either going to the library, writing the Library of Congress, asking questions, and researching for yourself. That's what it's all about. Hold on one moment. Okay, I'm going to have to go over here. And again, I won't show the video. I'll just play what Dr. King had to say. And give me a moment.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land.
Okay, I'm trying to stop. So what he's talking about is how they were taking our lands and telling us none was available. But yet they were giving out. And he's going to tell you what they were doing. And just to comply with YouTube policies, standards, and guidelines, we want to add just a little music to this so that we will have altered the state of the video, because that's what they require for us to do something different. And so I'm going to change the speed to 125.
Through an act of Congress.
And I'm going to cut off my speaker. Well, I have my speaker on. Hopefully you guys can hear it better. So let me just put my speaker up here. And let's play it.
Same time that America refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
That's one of the last speeches that Dr. King made. I won't say the very last because I wasn't there and I don't know. But you can just research Dr. King's speeches. Let me cut the music back down. People, we really have some work to do on ourselves. We don't have to worry about anybody else. We don't have to stop anybody from doing anything because we don't have the power to do that. One of the things I learned was the serenity prayer. And that prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. A lot of people say they want change. They want change. And especially here in the metaverse, everybody say they're sick and tired of everybody doing what they're doing to each other, just totally destroying reputations, doing the thing they accused me of that I know nothing about, the doxing and all of this good stuff. But nobody will sit in and listen to a way that we can come together and do something different. So I have to ask myself, do people really want change? Well, those that want it do. And they're here for it. And those that don't, don't. And I have learned to accept that. And I run with what I have to see what the end is going to be. I believe in it's a slogan by the U.S. Army. And they say, become an army of one. And I say, become an army of one, working with your own families, teaching them. And if we're all working toward a common goal, then we'll meet up at the end of that goal. But if we're not putting in our work, some of us are going to get lost by the wayside. That happens. Everybody is not meant to get it, and everybody is not meant to go. The question you need to ask yourself is, are you willing to do what you need to do for you and your family? Are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to buy books and start reading, or receive books on YouTube? They have a lot of books in PDF files. All you have to do is research and ask Google, and they are free of charge. There are books that cost, but there are plenty that does not cost you a dime. All you have to do is put in the work. And that's the hardest part. It's just like the hardest part of doing anything is getting started. Once you get started, though, it's something that kicks in. I don't know if it's adrenaline, what it is, but something kicks in and it propels you to continue to move forward. That's what it does for me. But in this video, the young man was beaten awfully bad, and they had Asiatic, what most people call themselves black, uh, police chief that was there and saying that his officers did nothing wrong and he didn't see any wrongdoing. And it was just sad that he would say that, but those are his officers. And I believe it's Romans 14 teaches us uh, that we don't put down a man's servant to the master, for it's the master he does the picking up and the putting down. So we have to let them be their own judges of that behavior. But we do have a young man who's running for president, and he's Asiatic, and I just thought that his responses were ridiculous, and that's one woman's opinion. He was talking about how we've overcome slavery and all of this good stuff, and a lot of people are of the opinion there is no racism. And I'm of the opinion that there is no racism, even though I know what racism means. And they say you got to call a thing a thing. It's hegemony. And it's one group controlling another group. And this one particular group controls us all. But you got to go back into the history to see how that happened. Because, at some point in history, there were all groups of people at one time that reigned supreme. And then they fell. And someone else rose up. But we got to go and look at the workings of how that happened. But this young man, I just couldn't believe the things he was letting come out of his mouth. And when Martin was making that speech, he was speaking about the Homestead Act that our government did against us. Because at one point in time, we couldn't even own land. And one of the sayings in America was, you ain't a man until you own some land. And if you're not allowed to own land, then of course you're not a man. Hey, so Alicia, you didn't miss everything. I'm not gone yet. And there's always a playback. I'm so glad you were able to make it. Give me a moment. I'm coming on camera now. Hello, everybody. A lot of reasons why people do what they do is for something that we've never ever known, and that's money. We've never known money, silver, gold, coins, and I'm not saying humans never knew it. I'm talking about we haven't. And I know there is an exception to everything, and some people's grandparents still have some gold bullion cubes, and some even have coins and things of that nature. But the majority of us have never had that. We've all been dealing since 1933 with the Federal Reserve notes that came from the Federal Reserve Act. But the meaning of it all is the same. And this is what causes a lot of us to be here or not be here. This is the reason, I believe. Money, 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 money. Money. Money, 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 money. Some people will sell you out. Do you know what I'm talking about? Some people tell jokes of dirt. They don't care who feelings they hurt. I was told from times of old, the game's to be sold and not told. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hang around YouTube and you will find out about that mean, oh mean, mean green, almighty dollar, cash money. Well, people don't let money, don't let money change you. Almighty dollar, cash money. People don't let money. Don't let money change you. Almighty dollar. They just keep on scamming and scamming everybody. Check them out, scamming and scamming everybody. I tell y'all, people don't let money, don't let money change you. Money, 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 money. Money. I mean, that's the heart of the matter. We cannot allow money to change who we become and who we are. There ought to be some things that you just do because it is the right thing to do. No matter who's watching, who's listening, who has something to say. Some things that people say, you just ought to ignore them. You can't legislate how someone feels about you. You can't legislate feelings. And no matter how something starts out, look at your ending. And if at any point in time, however it starts out, if it no longer brings you pleasure, you joy, then it's time for you to exit stage right. Thank you so much for the Cash App. Let me acknowledge that, please. You are appreciated.
Your face. You got to remove the excess water. Now she's coming
This
out.
is how you do it. Thank you. I've learned you have to be steadfast and unmovable. And if you are a believer, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And if you believe something different, always abounding in doing what is right, because it is the right thing to do. We all were given a conscience, those of us that are in our right minds. There are some that were born, unfortunately, that for whatever reason don't have the capacity to reason. Some lose that capacity along the way. Perhaps it's by something that happened to them or something they are taking or using. It could be through self-medicating, or it could be through really just the wrong prescription for your chemistry makeup. We don't know. But life happens to us all. As long as we're living, we have an opportunity to change whatever is happening to us that we're not pleased with. We have the opportunity to change it. What gets us is most of us don't know how. We know what we want. We know what we would like for it to look like and what it will be, but we don't know how to bring it to fruition. Because somewhere along the way, we just got stuck on belief and faith. And you must have both of those elements if you're talking about making a good life. But the third ingredient that we were not taught and were not impressed upon us is the third part is fruition. How to bring it from a thought in your head, maybe a plan on paper, and an execution of the what you want in life. And so if we don't know how to do that, we cannot be afraid to seek help. Seek somebody that maybe we see doing it, that we feel happy about, and we think that they're, in a place maybe we want to go. And just listen to them, take notes, hear what they're telling you. Look at their moral compass, because we all have one. And what is moral to me may not be moral to you. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. But a common law of the land is if I don't harm you and you don't harm me, there's no harm done. That is what makes it right or wrong. That's what's real. Everybody say, go back to what you were doing. Go back to what you were teaching. I never, ever left home. I had to defend my honor. And I still defend against bullying, harassment, and stalking. They call themselves trolls, but they're actually criminals. The behavior they're displaying. Trolls shouldn't have a personal vendetta against you. And number one, they never met you. But if whatever about you sparks that feeling in them, then they should stay far away from you as they possibly can. Hi, Billy. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. They should stay far away from you than they possibly can. And then the critics. I don't mind anyone critiquing me and talking about me and saying my name. This is a country, you can do all of that. But don't lie and slander me. Don't lie on. It's not beneficial for you to do that. I am $11 million richer for that very reason. So you must take responsibility for your actions, whether you want to or not. And just because you can call people all sorts of pernicious names does not make a good person out of you. Does not make you a great entertainment. That's not entertainment. That's a lot of sick people feeding off of each other's sickness. See, I believe we're all sick. Some of us are just sicker than others. We all have modalities, just life itself. Just post traumatic slave disorder is enough to make us all want to be better people, want to work together. But unfortunately, we don't know how to do it. We've been taught so long to compete against others. So we don't understand in life, the only person you're competing against is you. Can you be a better you than you were a moment ago? And only you know that. Only you can pass that test. You're not in a race. Mr. Neely Fuller says at any time anyone controls 9 areas of our lives, and our lives are controlled, and that is education, well, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And the way I remember them is to do them alphabetically, and it becomes a part of who you are. And you just sit down and write those 9 things down, and then you see where we have any control in any of those 9 areas of life. Then perhaps one day we could make this world a better place. But until then, we got to strive to make our lives better individually. And again, working toward a common goal. And perhaps we'll all meet up at that good place if we put in the work. But we got to put in the work. And we got to do it for ourselves. We can't rely on anybody to show us more grace than we're willing to show ourselves. If we're not willing to give our children lap time and read to them, talk to them, ask them how they think, even the little ones, just listen to their stories and see where their imagination takes them. It works a world of wonders, because what happened to that young man, and we don't know what happened that caused it to go to the point that it went. We could see what happened. The officers just were blatantly out of order, and they had the body cam on, but they did not have the audio. And that's not performing the job at the task that they were supposed to be performing. And the police chief just came out and said some of the most ridiculous stuff. And again, we understand company policy, and you're, following, supporting your employees. But, he even implied like the video, because it was not all the body cam of the officer, like someone had just made this video up. Now they're sitting there filming the same thing. We're seeing it in real time, but he's making it sound like somebody went to Hollywood and rented out a studio and, played this out on a parking lot somewhere. And they said the gentleman fell face forward when they were trying to subdue him. But the picture they showed, and that's why Maria put the link in the chat. So anybody who's interested in watching it, because it is very graphic and sad. This young man's eyes are swollen tight, closed, and they're black as blue, navy blue, blacker than blue. That doesn't happen from one fall face forward. And many of us are so afraid to speak out because we're afraid of retaliation. But if it happens to one of us, it's happening to all of us. It's just a matter of time. I used to tell people that about the bullying here on this platform. It's me right now. It'll be you this evening. Many of you didn't believe that, and you participated. But oh, when it came you, now it's a different story. And I understand. You see, I never participated in the buffoonery, but I supported the buffoons of YouTube. I did that. Oh, glad you made it back. Maria dropped the link again for anybody who's interested in the Roland Morton program that showed us this information. And it's all out there. All you have to do is, again, in the information age, use these beautiful, high priced computers, use them. Ask Google. You don't even have to say, I don't know what city and state it was. So you don't even have to say a city and state. All you have to do is ask Google about what happened to the person that was beaten by the police. And I guarantee you it will come up. There's so many stories out there that we could, talk about, but we all need to be talking. It's a good thing to listen. And you can only listen if someone is saying something. But if everybody are just great listeners and nobody is talking, what are we listening to? I think a lot of these little cute sayings are just that, little cute sayings. But there's a time and a place for everything under the heavens if you believe in the Sun Book. It's written. And we were taught that it's the incarnate word of a living God. I don't know if people really believe that or if they even read that or if they comprehend what they've read. But I tell you, it is very, very important that you start looking out for you. Very important. Drink water. Keep yourself hydrated. You do that for the function of your body. If you feel aches and pains and you think that it's something out of the norm, visit a doctor. If you're having issues with someone and you know that you're too adult to resort to physical violence, go speak with a professional. Get their opinion. A lot of attorneys, lawyers give consultations free of charge. A lot of people that learn information in our community, they say they help people and they want to help, but when you reach out to them, their first thing is to tell you their prices. And a workman is definitely worthy of his hire. So I don't have a problem with people having prices for anything, but they kind of just like the system. They outprice you. But they know that we are consumers. And I think that the way we spend, it would make the fifth nation. And so that's kind of what stops people from, wanting to help people at a low cost. Because I know as well as they do that people pay for what they want. They'll come to you and try to get you down to the lowest amount possible, but they'll then brag on how they paid $5,000 for an outfit, or a pair of shoes, or a handbag. It's really sad. But it is reality and there's nothing we can do about it. So again, if you just learn this prayer, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Then you can possibly start on your own path of making a difference in the world. And you may have already been doing it, just didn't know how you were doing it. Certainly you knew why, but when you first started out, you didn't know why you felt compelled to speak up for someone or to be the voice. of reason in unreasonable situations. You didn't have a clue. But once you know who you are, nothing and no one can stop you from going wherever it is you want to go in your purpose. You will determine that. Your actions will determine that. Not your word. Lip service is just that, lip service. Your actions will determine. And on that note, if no one has anything to say about what happened, I'm going to get ready to close out, to be honest. I have enjoyed everybody. I want to thank you all for hitting the Cash App and the Super Chat. That means a lot to me. It helps put back into what I do. Like I said, I do this because I love what I do and it's my purpose in life. But it certainly helps, especially after I've spent 200 and some dollars on some books. That really helps. And I pay them over time, so then I have interest in things like that. That's not y'all's concern. But I thank y'all for liking what I do enough to donate to me. That it's worthy. And I appreciate that. Because we all know it's written. A workman is worthy of its hire. And we've thrown away money on donuts. Lord knows I have. I love me some Lone Star donuts. Probably didn't need but one. And my son will definitely, when I ask him to, go and get me some donuts. And I'm thinking he's going to bring me one or two. And he'll go and buy me a dozen. And boy, you think that don't put a smile on these gums? You better ask somebody. Because this face, smiling away. Yes, my favorite cookies, oatmeal raisins by Mrs. Fields. I can't eat just one. He'll come with me a dozen. Or a can, or a 10. He knows his mother. And anybody that knows me know my addictive personality. And this song that I've been listening to for almost 48 hours, I really can't wait to get back to it, to be honest. I love this song. It means what to me? I cannot express it or explain it today, but I can just tell you that that's how my mind works. And I have to do this until I play it out, And it's I liken it to maybe what it's like to have some type of addiction of some of sort. I didn't have an addiction to substance. I had addictions to music, to people, situations, things of that nature, So like I said, I believe we're all sick. Some of us are just sicker than others. And it's according to what we find ourselves caught up in. And I would ask everybody to forgive yourself for whatever you think you've done wrong. Sometimes you can make amends with people. And sometimes the greatest amend that you can do for that person is to change the way you view them and leave them alone. Allow them to be. That's one of the things that I loved about the poem last week about B. Richards. And her name is Beulah, but they called her B and Bia. When she met Mr. Silvera, and he taught her what being was. So a lot of people say we're not perfect. Not yet realized. But everything we need, we have inside of us. You have the capacity to forgive, to love, with complete abandon. Set discipline for yourself, boundaries, guidelines, and stick to it. No matter who's listening, who's watching you, you just do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's who you are and are who you are becoming or who you have become. You cannot let the opinions and the thoughts of others get in your mind because they'll live there. That's why it's written to cast down vain imaginations. You gotta let them go. Hold on to nothing. All good and perfect gifts, they say, come from God. You got to know who God is. And you got to bring it up out of yourself and operate and have your being in that. Because he who worships, it says, worships in spirit and in truth, in the breath out of your body and the truth as you know it to be true. Well, a lot of truth that we thought was true is just not so. That's why you have to seek it. And if you seek it, you'll diligently seek it, you'll find it. It'll even find you. That's for real. I've had a beautiful time with you guys. I hope you all take the time and look at the video. And perhaps if you could not voice your opinion about it here in the chat, perhaps you can speak with your family and talk about it. Because it's worthy of a conversation. I promise you, it really is worthy of a conversation. And I'm going to get ready to leave the Tiger's Den. I thank everybody that showed up. I don't know how many likes we have, but I will ask everyone to please hit the like button. Not only hit the like button, but consider becoming a member to help support the channel. That helps too. Let me put this over here so I can look and see. I thank all 7 of you for staying with me. I have 18 likes. That's fantastic. Y'all don't know how I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I don't know what stuff means to other people, but I can tell you what it means to me. It means the world to me. That you would take your time out and spend it with the tiger. Such a majestic animal. So beautiful. I'm looking for a song I want to play. This is one I love to remind everyone. Let me take you back to my elementary school days. I didn't do nothing to these people. I didn't do nothing to these people. I didn't do nothing to these people. 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 I didn't do nothing to these people. I didn't do nothing to these people. I didn't do nothing to these people. 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 I didn't do anything to these people. But I'm being bullied anyway. We will stop the bullying. And it starts with me. My new hashtag, not me. Hi, Donkey Green. Esotar, what you say? Thank you for reminding me to hit the like. I had forgotten like I often do. I know you do. Uh-oh, Alicia, he messing with you. Tell him you not having that, Alicia. Would you tell him? Let Esotar know you not having that. Okay, that's my girl. That's how you handle that. But I'm glad that to see you back. As I don't know if you're on daddy duties or if you're working. We had a real bad storm going through, but I think maybe it's calmed down. And I was getting ready to bring the den to a close. I had a real good story that I was going to do before I found out about this one with the young man. And Maria had dropped the link in the chat. So I think if you stroll up, that is still there, and you can see the link and check out the video that I'm telling you guys about, or go to Roland Martin. Um, Roland is from Texas, and he was, on TV1 and stuff. And I thought he was a bit arrogant, but I've looked at several of his shows, and my brother always admired him and his work. And I just have like a one-track mind. I was very tunnel visioned. Like I said, I'm getting a lot better. All of us are sick. Some of us are sicker than others. I've been looking at some things I'm going to post on my wall as they talk about Scorpios, and it's so funny, y'all, because it's so apropos. I want to share a couple of them. I'm going to put them on my wall, like I said. It says, Scorpio, 5 moods. I'm too old for this shit. Number 2, I'm too tired for this shit. Number 3, I don't have time for this shit. Number 4, I am too sober for this shit. And number 5, I don't get paid enough for this shit. And that's a Scorpio thing you wouldn't understand. Another one say, I choose to play stupid, but trust me, I know everything you think I don't. Boy, this is so me on some of this stuff. I tell you, it is so funny. Now, this is one, Asatar, you probably can attest to. Scorpios. It says a Scorpio get mad and then immediately get motivated. They be like, I'm so mad that I'm going to go get my PhD. Okay, you want to cheat on me? I'm going to be a CEO. Oh, I guess that just tickled me, but that's what it is here. Uh, and then this is one really I can relate to. It says, do all Scorpios feel like they are a lazy perfectionist with ADHD and chronic fatigue who is pretty chill besides the occasional panic attack and loves their friends but hate people? But I swear, I don't know who write this stuff, but I swear they must be inside my head sometimes. And lastly, it says a Scorpio always knows what's going on around them, even if you tell them half the story. Scorpios love to prove people wrong. Scorpio get irritated when people ask them a lot of questions and will always suspect you have an ulterior motive. And I can't disagree, you know, with what these people are saying. It's really funny. I really enjoy it though. I see these things. This is 100% true, said someone else. Scorpio, very tolerant except for liars, a true friend and great lover, secretly wild and crazy, sweetest if treated well, get along with many types of people, has a dark side you don't want to mess with. And this is what I tell people all the time for real. It's a Scorpio thing. There is honestly no reason to lie to me. I'm too understanding. I get it. I get life. I know that shit happens. Just be straight up with me. And that's on the gorilla. I don't judge. I don't have nowhere for nobody to go. I don't have no reason to judge. But Scorpios are really kind of, we're a little wacky for real. I think November borns are far worse than us October borns, but that's probably because I was born in October. Yeah, Acetar is so true. ah, ah, ah. Let me put this up so everybody can see what Acetar said. Ah, that's so true, Acetar. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I really do. And I'm sure if I talk to a November born Scorpio, they'll think that we are much crazier than them. But I think they're way wilder than us. And I think that they will actually beat your ass too. I'm not a fighter. Now, I do know some October borns that are. I'm just not one of them. But I know them November borns, they don't born nothing. For real, them some weird people for real though. I ain't lying. And I love them all. Like I said, I love people, but I don't like many. And of course, I have my reasons, as do everybody else. But those of you that I have connected with and you've connected with me, Asatar, Alicia, Maria, Ryan, y'all don't know. The laughter and the conversations are priceless. And the sad part about it is you think you have that with everybody that, you find camaraderie with, but people soon let you know that no, you're not my friend. Asatar, what you said about Scorpios? That's not true. That is not true. I'm not gonna let you have that one. It might be some that refuse. So now that might be true for some. It's not all or nothing. Nothing is all encompassing. So you're probably correct. That's just not true for me. So I'll go along with that, Asatar. I will. I'll go along with that. I will go along with that. Okay. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. But I'm going to go along with him. That's ass. I'm going to go along with him. And that's what that is. But as I stated a moment ago, and one thing he told me, and I told him I'm going to do my best to adhere to this. When I say I'm leaving, leave. Because people leave and think I'm gone. And he only said that because he left and he know he shouldn't have left. But he left. And he missed some. So he was a little perturbed. But he told me that really that is a good practice. So I can't say that that's wrong. But he told me when I say I'm leaving, really leave. Because he left thinking I was gone. And that's happened a couple of times. So that's true. But, here I go, Asatar, using that Scorpio excuse, that's what we do. Ah, oh, that's funny to me. Who do you ever tickle yourself? Well, I tickle myself so much it's not even funny. These people think they funny on this YouTube, and there's some people that are funny, but boy, who ain't none of them close to me. I'm not lying, but that's another day, another storyline. But I was going to talk about another story, and maybe I'll talk about it when we meet again, about the guy. In case anybody want to Google it and look at it, the man who had the Hellcat and have all these luxury cars, and he just got sentenced in federal prison because he had another business that he had gotten. They called it the copyright infringement case. So y'all can look that up. It's very, very interesting story. He got all these luxury cars, and he boasted about his Hellcat, and he's got the wrap on it. His is just a lot of different colors and stuff. But he's on his way to federal prison for the infringement. They were actually selling their own stream, but getting people free cable like programs and stuff. So it's a very interesting story. But he started on YouTube, and I think he lost about $34 million in assets. And he said he's taking responsibility. But he said the only problem's wrong is that he got in trouble for making money. Not for the wrong that he did, but for making money. Let me see. Astor said my point was all of us are the same way. Oh, here he go, Mr. Logico. Okay, Mr. Logico. Leo, Cancer, Scorpio. It don't matter, y'all. We all just using our sign as an excuse for bad behavior. Well, tell that to the people who chart you when you're born before you know any of that, and they know how to place you once you become an adult. Tell that to them, and then I'll believe what you say. But we all have the same human traits. That's true. But there is something to where the moon is when you're born, and the sun. Yeah, it's called astrology, and it's real. With the solar system, they took cosmology away from us. But everything that is measured is predicated on our astrology and cosmology. And so, sir, that sounds good what you're saying. Part of it is true, but part of it is science. And unfortunately, you can't do anything about it but have another opinion. So tell me about it, because I know you will. Come on, Asatar. Okay, y'all. I think I'm funny, but Asatar is funnier than me. Oh, Lord. And I'm with you on the dark side. Asatar really is funny. I'm not lying. Asatar, how was practice? How was practice today? So, Alicia, I'm glad you're feeling better. Phyllis haven't been feeling too good. It's just her head is all stopped up like sinuses and stuff. Alicia, he just so funny. I ain't lying. He is funny as he can be. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get ready to say a beautiful, beautiful night. Again, thank y'all, everybody. And like I said, consider becoming a member. Hit the like button if you forgot to hit the like button on your way out. I'm going to play that song that makes everybody crazy on this app. And then, of course, I'll play my numbers song. And after Speechless, we'll say goodnight. I'm leaving the Tiger's Den. Money, 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 money. Money. Money, 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 money. Some people will sell you out. Do you know what I'm talking about? Some people tell jokes of dirt. They don't care who feelings they hurt. I was told from times of old, the game's to be sold and not told. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hang around YouTube and you will find out about that mean, oh mean, mean green, almighty dollar, cash money. Well, people don't let money, don't let money change you. Almighty dollar, cash money. People don't let money. Don't let money change you. Almighty dollar, they just keep on scamming and scamming everybody. Check them out, scamming and scamming everybody. I tell y'all, people don't let money, don't let money change you. Money, 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 money. Money. I got to share this before I go. In case in December, if y'all see me sitting in this chair that everybody wants to smell, and y'all see me with a mink on and a mink hat, don't think I'm gone crazy. I just started, spending my millions. And I want to look like the millionaire that I am. So instead of being the Toothless Tiger, they'll probably call me the Toothless Bear. Woo Lord. They'll probably call me the Toothless Bear. So when you see the day that I'm sitting here in my mink coat and my mink hat, then I want all of the naysayers to say, she did it. Yeah, she did it. Asatar, I'm going to read what you said, and Alicia, before I go. Practice was awesome. Oh, that's good. The twins from Israel are really good. We also picked up a freshman kid, and he's going to be good. 100. That is great. And Asatar said, Phyllis, I hope you get to feeling better. She probably already fell off to sleep, and I'll definitely let her know. So Alicia said, we thank you all for coming to the Tiger's Den. We appreciate every respectful comment and donation. Please don't be a stranger. Oh, that's so beautiful and sweet, Alicia. And Asatar said, if she's... That's true, Asatar. So go and pick out the ones you want. Just pick them out. Alicia, pick out your red bottoms. Y'all heard it here. First, in the Tiger's Den. Pick out, your red bottoms. If you want the 5 or the kitten heel, it's your choice. But we're going to give Christian Louboutin. I know they said that's what we do with our money. Give it all back. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to splurge. We're going to do that there. So, unfortunately, I don't have a dollar amount allocated for the communist and the Bible thumper and the woman that's not real. But, we're going to do some things like millionaires do. It's good to be a millionaire. Uh, it feels great. It really does. Uh, you know me. I'm just giving it away. So that's nothing new. Having said all of that, let's proceed with our good nights, our thank yous, our likes, and YouTube. When I look at the subscribers that I received over the past year, 60 subscribers compared to other content creators. Some started when I started, some came after me. The numbers are not numbering. From what my numbers tell me, I gained one subscriber every 6 days. YouTube. You got me. You got me. You've got me, YouTube. You've got me speechless. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me speechless. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. Whoo. Okay. I'm supposed to be speechless, but acetone and this Ashley turd, that is just so corny. I've never heard of such. But hey, Ashley turd, I want you to have a great evening. I was looking for something. I don't know what it was. I honestly don't know what it was. Maybe I'm having one of those sometimer moments. But this might have been it. Maybe your callback actually turned because of this. See that old man over there in his chair? This old man is living in the bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time, and now he's living in the bottle. Well, see that old man over there in his chair? This old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. Now he done pawned off everything, his old woman wedding ring for the bottle. Well, and don't you think it's a crime when time after time people living in the bottle? These people living in the bottle, y'all. Laura, I didn't know you were still with us. You were so quiet. And Maria, I know that you're working and listening. So have a beautiful night. And I'm going to play my song again because I want to be speechless when I leave the platform. Plus, I think I sound good. If y'all never heard that song, play it. It's Beyonce. Beautiful, beautiful song. She really sung that song. YouTube. When I look at the subscribers that I received over the past year, 60 subscribers compared to other content creators. Some started when I started, some came after me. The numbers are not numbering. From what my numbers tell me, I gained one subscriber every 6 days. Stop that, because one thing I didn't do in the beginning that I should have done is acknowledge this is Pink October, and we want to acknowledge anyone that we know or have known that has suffered from breast cancer, because it is also Breast Cancer Month, and we acknowledge and lift up everyone who are battling the disease, who has battled the disease and won, and those who were defeated by the disease. We want to acknowledge you and lift you up. So, with that being said, I really will be speechless. I'm sorry I don't know how to fast forward it. So y'all have to listen to my speech because it's still real. I've gained people even over the past couple of weeks and lost people, and I've gained some back. So like I said, numbers are an illusion. Don't let them get you down. Just keep being you. Great. And everybody wants to be a part of something great, but they don't want to be recognized as being a part of something great. And so we'll let them continue to hide as we continue to move forward and look forward to my millions. Good night. YouTube. When I look at the subscribers that I received over the past year, 60 subscribers compared to other content creators. Some started when I started, some came after me. The numbers are not numbering. From what my numbers tell me, I gained one subscriber every 6 days. YouTube. You got me. You got me. You've got me, YouTube. You've got me speechless. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me. You've got me speechless. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. All I can say is yes, yes, yes. Whoo.